Live,
That's
even
it, eh?
though even though I don't see us, we do have an intro. I think this might. All right, we
Nice
are
intro.
on, guys. We're on. We are live. My camera's not in the focus, so we are going to take me off real quick while I get my stuff together.
What's happening?
Good Sunday night, people out in YouTube land.
Scott's adrift.
Yeah, Scott's gone. All right, let's talk about him.
He does that from time to time.
Yeah.
And so here we are, tops. The
Tops.
dirty word.
Yeah.
Not so dirty anymore.
Well, it's a nice ending to that saga, anyways. Because, well,
Yes, it
actually,
is.
I don't know because I haven't. I've got. I was telling the guys I've got um about 3/4 of my tops orders arrived today
Nice.
because I had to use a shipping service because they hated Canadians, and I haven't opened them. I thought this would be great
Yeah,
to do this live in the studio, and I'm excited about it.
definitely.
Oh, look
Listen,
at these
FedEx isn't
people.
too fond of us New Yorkers neither.
I'll
my, my my
I'll
Black
trade.
Adam, my Black Adam and Shazam have been stuck in Pompano Beach. I mean, not that it's not a bad place to be stuck, but they've been there for about a week.
Oof. Yeah. Hey guys, I just want to say hi to everybody. Lonnie Fisher, Michael Horvath, Adams. Really nice what you guys are saying. Mark, that's great. It's nice to see so many people turning up for this. I didn't know this is a weird time to be doing this. Oh, there's a Shane. Oh, that's wonderful. Look at all these people. You guys getting the feedback, or it was just me?
No, I don't hear any feedback.
Oh, well, I'm looking at the comments.
It's too small for me to read, so I can't.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I
as
don't
you
get
can
to see
see,
those
I'm
either.
way
You're
too
you're
close
on a
to my screen.
computer. No, but
Yes.
you're on a computer. I'm on my phone, so I don't get that
Yeah.
privilege.
I see. I didn't understand. Yeah, I don't do phone things.
Yeah.
These aren't good for anything phone related. So, is this all of us other than Scott, or are we going to have other?
Frank is supposed to be here,
Oh, okay. Good
and I
evening,
guess
Jake.
Paul said he was at a funeral, so he'd pop in later if he was in
That
time.
sucks. Yeah. Now, yeah.
But other than that, this is
Today,
us.
today was a really exciting day for me because I got a notice. I think actually it was weird. I got a notice as I was trying to buy a carded Migo at a flea market. Um, I was negotiating for a pin Human Torch, and I almost bought it. I actually had the money in my hand, and when the woman handed it to me, the top of the bubble had been completely cut off, and
Okay,
for the money she wanted 150 Canadian for that, and it was like,
okay,
no, I'm not doing that. And she
yeah,
also had
yeah.
Mr. Fantastic in the box with a huge Toys R Us clearance sticker on the front, and she was like, "That's 450," and it's like, no, it's not. um, but anyways, it was so weird because it's like a crummy flea market I took my kids to buy old CDs and that sort of stuff, and I was like, wait, are there actually real Migos here?
Nice.
So as I backed out of that deal, I looked at my phone and it said you have 3 boxes in your locker in Toronto, and I thought those are my tops figures, so I can actually not act like I don't know what like what you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
That's always a good thing.
So we got a question here. What's the point of making tops exclusive that say nothing about tops on them and then releasing them? They're not released as is to general retail. The Wave 15 figures, if I'm not mistaken, are drastically different.
Different, yes. There's
Yeah,
nothing
like
the
in a
same
lot
about
of
any of them.
ways. Like the mutant from Planet of the Apes is a great example. That the one from Tops has the radiated face, and the one from the Wave 15, which I actually have, is the humanoid, the masked face.
Mhm.
And those are night and day different. They may
Yep.
have the same outfit, but two different heads. Hi, Andrew Koval. And a lot of the Top's Spock is in the motion picture outfit, the uniform, and the regular release Spock is in that really cool, I don't know what you'd call it, like Vulcan leisure wear. The first movie. So that's again
black pajamas.
black pajamas. So that there again is like two different figures. I'm trying to remember. The Hunchback is totally different from the other Hunchback. And
the Hunchback is Universal Monsters with the what's his name?
Right.
Lawton Sculpt.
So it is. I don't think I knew if that was confirmed or not, but it's Charles Lawton, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
Looks amazing.
And I think
Also,
Taylor's
hi,
going to be
Frank.
wearing a spacesuit.
Hey,
Yeah.
What's that?
Welcome,
first
Frank.
off, hi everybody. How you guys doing? Sorry about that. Family stuff going on, but good to be here.
All right. Yeah, exactly. I had to do some last minute setup things. So Frank, look what we got. We got Tom King.
Tom, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah,
For
we
those
could
of
probably
you-
explain what Tom does around here.
Hey,
Exactly.
Good to meet you face to face finally.
For
We
those
found
of you-
Tom on the street and invited him in. That's
cool.
cool. Tom don't do anything.
No, but
So-
Tom's been doing some really fun stuff for Migo, isn't that right?
That's right. For those
Yep.
of you that don't know, Tom is responsible for more painted head masks or paint apps than you can even imagine. So what you're looking at, like, I'll give you an example of Tom. Mr. Spock is one of Tom's paints, correct? Tom?
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And if I'm not mistaken,
I don't have him yet.
Oh, look at that one. So if I'm not
That's
That's
mistaken,
awesome.
what Tom does, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, you'll get a sculpt, you'll get instructions. So we kind of want to see this look or that look, and you'll put your talents to work and have that thing come to life with the fantastic paint jobs you do.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I get to see Andrew and Tyler's work on a regular basis.
Nice.
Very fortunate.
That's very cool.
And my number one rule is to try and bring those sculpts to life. Everything that's there
Yeah.
before it hits it, I try to make sure all that detail comes out. So that's what I try to do.
And that definitely came through on Spock. That's
Very
this
cool.
Spock figure. The detail. I mean, this is awesome.
I
That
took
is-
it out of the original package.
It's gorgeous. It is.
That is, I mean, you talk about almost perfection here. That captures an older Spock perfectly.
It's
Yeah,
definitely one
you
of
know
my
what?
favorites.
I'm going to start opening my stuff because
Yeah.
I don't.
Yes,
I haven't seen it.
definitely.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming, guys, and this is awesome.
There you go. Very cool.
I think they, instead of calling it the Tops exclusives, they ought to call it the Immaculate Conceptions.
Oh my stars! I was talking to somebody about it today, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to an adult about it, like he was kind of like, and there's a lot to unpack with the Top stuff. Great when it first got said to me, like when Paul told me about it, I was like, what a neat idea, and oh my God, we're going to get all these weird figures that we wouldn't get at retail. But then when we were in the mire of it, it was kind of like this. I didn't think of the pressure it had, where it's like, yay, new figures. Oh no, new figures.
Yeah.
Spending that money every week. And
It was.
I felt like every week, like I'm not like I was sad it ended because I wanted to get all those figures, but I also think that it would have ended anyways just because of all the mishmash of shipping and all that stuff going on.
Right.
But it was this sort of thing where every week it seemed to be getting a little more people liking it less, and it was such a weird split decision. Oh, this is awesome! I just got my Taylor.
Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
Taylor and Brent.
Yeah, wait till you take Taylor is awesome.
My
Yeah.
Brent is still in transit with the mutant. Of course,
Look at that.
figure I really want it, but oh yeah, Taylor looks really good.
So
Damn, look at that head.
Yeah, that one I didn't do. I did burn. I did. Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
no, the unmasked leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a lot of work.
I've been
Okay.
waiting for. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can do this because I've been waiting like forever just to be able to do this scene, and I waited till tonight, and I actually had batteries. So here we go.
There you go.
The
Nice.
official. Oh, the official.
The horse is drunk.
Hey, it
Yeah,
happens.
well, he still walks, just not very good.
He's 50 years old. Give him a break.
Yeah.
And we have-
Secretary, he's not.
Hey,
Oh, hey,
Paul has made it.
Yeah,
Paul.
had to go to a wake.
Hey. Paul, what's up, man?
94-year-old woman with 8 children.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
She outlived 5 of them.
Wow.
Wow.
It's my wife's aunt. Anyway,
Good life. Good life.
so you got Taylor, Brian? Where'd Brian?
Yeah, I'm actually. I just picked up all my three-quarters of my tops orders today.
So what do you think?
Well, Taylor looks really, really great. I'm still opening them.
Yeah. He
I
great.
waited for this because I thought it would be kind of fun.
And the color of the body, Paul.
That's going to be the color going forward.
Nice.
It's a good tone.
I
Yeah,
took
That's
the,
match.
I
Just
sent
like-
the original Migo body to the factory and said, "This is what we need to hit.
Nice.
Stop with the pale. Stop with the
Right.
This is what we're going for. Write it down. When we figure it out, write it down and go with that for everybody, except unless it's different."
Got you. Yep. Man, looks good.
This one was one of those ones where I didn't expect it coming, and I couldn't live without because I have this weird predilection with the motion picture, and
Wow.
Yeah.
this looks really good.
See, to me, motion picture was something best left forgotten.
For me, you know what? Everything other than the film is magical to me, like the Happy Meals and the figures and
There
that
you go.
Marvel comic. But the
Glasses.
movie was a disaster for me.
Yeah. I mean, I walked out of the theater going, "What was that?"
You know what's funny though is now I rewatched it in like HD,
Yeah.
and it's gorgeous. It
Because you
really
know
is.
going in, you have an expectation.
But I
You
mean,
know this is going to suck. I know it.
well,
Right.
no, but the thing is, no one would let you make that kind of movie today. That ponderous,
Now.
philosophical, actionless
Nope.
movie. And I kind of
Airless.
I enjoyed it on a different level, and I appreciate it for what it is. And it's not, personally, it's not my least favorite Star Trek film. So that is what it is.
You could. We're trying not to look like a TV show, and that was
What's that?
Yeah. Right.
This guy is great.
Yeah.
You like that? Yeah.
I
Yes.
do.
James Brady's core finally made it.
Did.
I love when Brady scalps get out there. It's so validating.
I have asked him, "What do you want to do?" And we actually have a couple new ones
Nice.
Cool.
that are in the pipe.
I follow James on Instagram, and he still occasionally sculpts Mego heads for
Really?
like friends and family, and it's really kind of cool what he does. He has a great talent.
Yeah, he is for sure.
And just like you, Paul, I remember when he first said something like that. God, I don't know how long ago. This was probably like 2002 or 2001, where he went, "I think I'm going to give Mego customization a try."
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know
Gotta
why.
get
I
whatever
remember.
guy, whatever.
Yeah, no,
What is
actually, with him, I was like, "Oh,
Uh-huh.
neat," and then it's like he just
Yeah.
blew stuff up. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, his truck
And
stuff.
actually, he sculpted Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah,
the
those were
first
great.
series for us.
I wish I had bought those.
Yeah. Well, too late now. Now that's it, man.
Yeah, they're like $1 million now.
Yeah.
That's all I can do to keep a set for myself.
Right.
You know what's really funny is I bought like 3 of the Barnabas Collins, and I think I gave one away, and I opened one, and somebody else wanted the carded ones. Oh, take it. And it's like those things are like $300 now.
They are.
You know, it's just crazy.
Crazy. It is. It absolutely is.
So I think what we've seen, I've got all mine. I had my last 2 boxes come yesterday. We've seen a lot of people throughout Facebook also have gotten all of theirs. So I got a question to go around the table. What out of all of these so far is your favorite? Paul, I want to start with you. If you had to pick one.
Well, I mean, I the Mutant Leader.
Yay.
That was one that I always wanted to see done. Actually, originally it was supposed to be a removable mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were telling me that years ago.
And it just no time to try to muck around with it.
Yeah.
The new factory, because that was the new factory, to try to get them to do a head and then another head over it.
Yeah.
It would have ended up like a helmet. So I'm like, just do
you remember that V doll they made, Eljan made?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
So I said, just put the mask head aside, and then when it was like, oh, we're gonna do variants for all the people that couldn't get tops, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna do the other head.
Yep.
You could do a third variant with the hood and a switching.
That's gonna be a special deluxe. You're gonna pay through the nose for it.
Well, that's good. Speaking of paying through the nose, for anybody that might have a consumer, these things were a little bit more money. I'm gonna tell you something. Every single one of these figures have layered outfits.
Yeah.
There's no just throwing a robe and they're done.
Right.
The attention to detail. Again, I have to go back to what Marty said in that the Ghostbusters reveal. The attention to detail is steps up from what it was. Everything from the. I mean, even the material feels richer to me, if that makes sense. Everything. Yeah, exactly. Ra's al Ghul. That's a perfect example, Kevin.
There's no reason for us to be putting out $15 figures like this. The nearest competition is NECA at 30.
Right.
So anybody who cries about, oh, it should be only $15, forget it.
It's not
It's not out there.
I mean, to your point, Scott, and your point, Paul. I mean, look at the 3 3/4 inch of like what the Super 7 monsters and the guys are doing. They're like $18 a piece.
$19.
I was in Toys R Us. I had to pick up my son, but I was early, so he's not far from the Toys R Us. And they had just gotten a new wave of retro Star Wars figures in, and there was the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
As a 3 3/4 inch figure, and I kind of got this like, this impulse. So, just that little like it hit the nostalgia button, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy this. And I look at it, and I'm just about to buy it, and I look at the price, and it is $23.99 Canadian.
Right,
that's crazy.
Migo figure is $21.99 Canadian here, and it's just like I can't like it.
You can't justify it.
I can't. Yeah, it killed the impulse. It's like I can't spend $25 on this. Like I don't like it that much. So yeah, there's, but a week before I bought the Soldier Ape with the black bandolier because I didn't have it, and I never thought twice about that. So yeah, the value. I don't even want to tell you what Marvel Legends sell for here, but it's $40 to $50.
Wow.
Per figure.
Jesus.
They just bumped the Star Wars Black Series just for like $30 a pop for like just like a regular one. And then like the deluxe ones are I think close to $45-$50 now.
Yeah, I don't know how folks afford that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't realize is that last summer into the fall, I mean, everybody on the Mego creative team were working their tails off.
Oh, I believe it.
It wasn't like it was just ops. We had
What?
a lot of.
You didn't like that? What?
Tom, preach. Tell him. Come on, Tom.
That's standard operating procedure.
Uh,
Well, all I can say is if FedEx ever had crashed a plane, everything was going to be in jeopardy.
done.
I would have had to carry. Just
Right.
Done. Yeah.
Dang, I just opened my Hammer figures. These are fantastic.
To your point, Tom, everybody, there's so much work put into these. Everybody, everybody was on board and was just like, dug in and got it done. It was just,
yeah. And to that point, I'm proud of all, because I know how much work was going into all that, and how, all of us were into it, and for them to come out this nice and beautiful.
So having said that, I know, Paul, that you had a day, so you probably didn't read the itinerary. So I hope this isn't a total surprise. But
I didn't read the itinerary.
I did. Doesn't mean I'm answering anything, but
No. Right. So
who do you think you kid?
Well, we could throw a couple curves, but with all that in mind, what's going to top tops?
You do this every time. I don't say anything until I'm given clearance. What's going to top tops is going to be World's Greatest Superheroes.
Whoa!
Okay,
the 50th anniversary World's Greatest Superheroes is going to be mind blowing.
It's going to, it will be,
because you're going to walk into a major retail store and see them,
right?
And on the shelf, and you're just going to weep.
Yes.
And then, you're going to weep because somebody else came before you and cleared most of them out. So all you're going to see is Aquaman.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Some of us like Aquaman.
But even Aquaman, sitting on that shelf, you're going to be like, Aquaman.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So you're going to do Mixaplex, right?
No. He was such a bad. I explained this to somebody. I can't remember who, but I said Migo did Mixaplex because at the time Lex Luthor was just a guy in gray prison outfit.
Yeah. That was like 1 year before
they looked at it and went, "Hey, you don't put out a guy in gray pants and a shirt with old guy. What is this?" So then they saw Mixaplex and said, "That's a guy. That's a guy you put in." Because of that, DC actually created an outfit for Luthor.
Yeah.
So by the motion picture, Superman the movie, you had the green and purple battle suit,
and
which in the 80s became
Challenge of the Super Friends too. Yep.
Yeah. That outfit I think debuted in '75.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it got back to DC.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we need to come up with a solution to this.
Got it.
So,
yeah.
And yet, in 1990, they released an action figure of Luthor in a smoking jacket that punches itself in the head.
That was, because John Byrne in '86 did Man of Steel, where Luthor became, like a robber baron.
Yeah.
But he was in a suit.
It still
was
was
a smoking jacket. It was supposed to be a suit.
But it was like a purple jacket. It was.
Yes, it was. It was Toy Biz's idea of. Yeah. And he had I think he had a ring. I think he was supposed to be putting the ring.
Yeah, a kryptonite ring, but he went like this.
The production, it just went back.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We got away again.
He sat next to Bob the Goon.
Yes.
And Kang from Secret Wars. Forever at every toy store.
On a peg.
Exactly. Yep.
That's gonna be Brian's hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all got to know
goes into a Toys R Us, and it's just that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not kidding. I think I was staring at the Kangs until college. I know that. Wow. So Secret Wars came out when I was in the first year of high school. And I'm talking like 91 or 92, there were still Kangs on the shelf. Not Mego Kangs.
Right.
Young boy.
Yeah. Yes.
I graduated college in '86.
Holy smoke.
Wow.
Yeah. And I worked at my friends.com. And I said, well, I graduated college in '86. And they went, oh, you mean '96? I went, yes.
Yes, you do.
I dropped 10 years right there.
Hello, fellow kids.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. But let's finish up what Scott started about the top stuff. Ryan, you go ahead next, man. Which one is your favorite?
Frank.
What?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
My favorite hasn't arrived. I'm waiting for my tailor to get here. So
really?
wait for Taylor.
I thought you were going to say the Mummy.
it's this honorable mention on that. This is my second right there. So
It just.
it came
Hey
out
Frank,
great.
could you like put together a bodysuit for this mummy because I got 9 million things to do?
Yeah,
Oh yes.
of course. Of course.
You
And
need
it
a
came out
mummy
with the,
bodysuit. You
it came
talk
out
to
with
Frank.
the Rice Krispie treatment too.
Well, hopefully in the future there'll be more of this dispersal and definitely more of this fine detail that you see here, and that would help to make for happy campers. Brian,
Yeah,
what's your favorite out of this wave?
I like Frank. I think the one, and I've seen enough of it to know that it's going to be my favorite, is the mutant leader. Beneath the Planet of the Apes scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Yeah.
And now I'm obsessed with it. I don't know if you guys ever have that sort of thing where something scares you as a kid and now you wear T-shirts of it. And
Yes.
I can't believe that this is here. I was talking to a friend of mine about the Hammer figures, and I was like, I can't believe we're like opening Plague of the Zombies dolls. It's crazy. And so it's kind of a weird embarrassment of riches. And I'm kind of glad my Brenton mutant leader won't be here for another few days, because I'm one of those guys that really likes stuff to come in piecemeal. When it all comes in at once, you get overwhelmed.
Right.
But you really, this has been a great day and an embarrassment of riches. And I think my favorite today is probably the Hammer Mummy, but that will change just when I get the Brent and the mutant leader, because I'm a huge fan of the astronaut side of Planet of the Apes as well.
Yeah.
So.
Just remember, the Hammer Mummy has a clear body.
Yeah.
You can shine a light through his chest.
Yes.
Nice.
That's a really lovely touch, by the way, because that's right out of the poster.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was a key point. I said, hey, we can use a clear body, because I'm looking at it
again,
and I'm like, that would be a cool thing to do with another mummy. This is like our fourth mummy.
Again,
I took the figure and had an X-Acto knife, and I held it up and I poked it through to make sure it was actually the holes were lined up.
Yes, very good, Frank.
Thank you. There you go. That's a nice one too, Kevin.
All right.
This is awesome.
So, Tom, what was your fave?
Mine? Mine's a tie between the mutant leader. I love Brent, because to me that was like Taylor. I always wondered why we didn't have him. And
why would you send a ship after a ship?
That's standard ANSA protocol, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you do it a third time too?
Hey, the second guys didn't come back. Better send our third guy out.
Right.
Yeah. Then you know what? We got to get Verdon and Burke on this.
Exactly.
same reason why they sent the Terminator after the other.
Yeah, right.
You got to figure astronauts were like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
Hey,
we lost the first two ships. Can you guys go look?
That's right.
Astronauts
like tissues.
I was watching the Menagerie, the 2-part the cage, and when they were blasting phasers at the top of the mountain at the door to try to get to Captain Pike.
Right.
They pulled their phasers out. A couple of the guys ran and ducked behind some tumbleweeds as they're firing. Yeah. I'm not sure how much protection of tumbleweed, but
those tumbleweeds were well made. Yeah, that's my favorite phaser, by the way. That's what's on my desk. Yeah, I love this kind of I don't know. It's a postmodern design. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a ray gun.
I always loved it. I've had this on my desk for. When I think they came out with this in the mid-90s? It doesn't.
Yeah, Playmates.
Yeah. But that was I gotta have this.
That's very cool.
I've shot my children with this more times than I care to mention.
Yeah. Right.
No,
Hope Children's Services is not watching.
Yeah. No, they're adults now. Statute of limitations is up.
Right.
Is there Isn't there no blowback yet about, because doesn't a phaser essentially like burn somebody to death? Isn't that kind of like an inhumane way
that's
to?
a disruptor.
Yeah.
A disruptor disrupts every cell in the body. A phaser just knocks you out or vaporizes you.
But
There's
that's
no
what I'm saying.
pushback.
I mean,
You know what? We need Mr. Brown's agonizer for that.
Yeah, right.
Just be glad Jason Seville's not here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because he would have an answer.
He would.
Go on.
Yep,
would.
he absolutely would.
it would. And again, if anybody's wondering, Jason's area is having internet issues, and until that gets corrected, unfortunately, he was thinking about taking a bus to a different town just so he could do this, but he decided not a good idea. Not a good idea. Yeah, his area. I don't know what it is, but they're having I guess they're redoing
the towers.
The towers, exactly. So
Gotcha.
hopefully the next time we do this, he'll be here.
Gotcha.
So Kevin, all right. Kevin, you're up.
Yep. Come on, Kevin.
Listen, I mean, how long have I waited for a hooded Green Arrow?
I don't know. How long?
Yeah, tell us.
Since Mike Grell did Longbow Hunters.
Yep.
And that was after Dark Knight, I think. 87, 88.
This is what I, other than Migo, this is what I picture Green Arrow as.
Wow.
So I'm glad this one.
Glad I didn't go with the
this one
Silver
got
Age
done.
look.
Nah.
Clean cut Green Arrow.
Yeah, right.
With short
Happy
sleeves.
Green Arrow.
Yeah,
Right.
Happy Green Arrow.
Yeah, right. We'll save that one. Maybe that,
Listen, I every time you go through it and you look at it, every time this one, this one's my favorite. This one's my favorite. Every time you open up one of these, it becomes a favorite. I mean,
your new
how
favorite.
long do people are waiting 50 years?
Oh yeah.
For something like that,
Yeah.
They're waiting 50 years for this guy, So how could you narrow it down to just one,
Yeah.
So
actually, I got to tell you, I didn't buy everything Topps made because I had to be selective and picky. But everything I have is stuff that's like there's no figure that I'm looking at here going, I shouldn't have bought this one. No, I had to buy these. These were all wish fulfillment, and they just remind me of certain points in my life, The Phantom of the Opera, the Hammer Phantom of the Opera. I remember I taped that when I was 14 and had a blast with it. So this is crazy.
I tell you, he almost did not happen.
Really? Now, is there
Hammer came back and told us we don't have the rights to that.
Wow.
Oh.
And they said, go to Universal. Pay Universal the royalty.
That's why it doesn't say Hammer on the packaging, right? Oh, okay.
And then it was like, so we just pay the money to Universal. Fine, no problem. We pay Universal. And I submitted it to Universal, and they were like, "Why? We don't have that." I go, "Yeah, you do."
Right? Yeah.
Let's put it this way: we're putting this thing out. Damn it!
Yeah. So that's why it doesn't say Hammer.
Yeah, that's why it didn't say Hammer.
Oh wow!
You know what? What's great
but most of it's right. So
you know what's great about this one? I see Tombstone figures wearing this outfit.
Okay.
I want to do an
obscure. I could see a Doc Holliday and a Wyatt Earp.
That's that's the beauty of Mego.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it gives you the tools to do whatever you want in the privacy of your own home. Not under copyright and trademark.
Somebody was asking me the other day why Star Wars guys have this huge anti-repro contingent, and they said they were. Somebody was asking me, and they joined me in the conversation and said, why do you think Mego collectors aren't like that? And I really do think, and this was my answer, was the customizability of Mego figures was embraced so early on in the hobby, like where people were like, look what I can make and look what I can make. That's not apparent in other action figure collections so much, like the fact that you can switch an outfit, as a kid, I put a Robin shorts on my Spock, and when I have Submariner, that
you were ahead of your time.
Oh yes, I was a real pioneer. I never figured out you could just take the head off. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I think that is the reason that you don't like you know we have an anti-repro contingent, but it's a small group of folks, as opposed to, like, I don't know what Star Wars would have, a bigger group of folks.
Well,
So
with Star Wars, it was the Jawa capes that were,
Right.
were passed off as originals.
Right, they
And
were
that put a
cutting
bad
Ben
taste in
Kenobi
people's
capes.
mouths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Jawas were being sold with plastic capes, and they were like, "Wait a minute, I can't tell."
Mhm.
That's why I made a point of saying all my stuff is DM.
Yeah.
You know, I'm putting a mark on it,
Right.
so that you could tell. But because I remember that. You know.
Denmark.
Yeah.
Listen, even the weapons, you know, they try to give tests on how you can spot a fake, and, you know, if they floated to the top, they weren't.
Right.
But the customizers found a way around that. So now you got stuff that sinks to the bottom. That's a repo. So I mean, you got to be really on it and really dedicated to figure out what's good and what's not with that stuff.
Or if you're like me, you just don't care.
Yeah.
There's a guy out there somewhere in this world. There's a guy out there that about 20 years ago, if it goes back that far, seems like it was that far, I sold through eBay. I sold him a Green Arrow, and he asked me, he said, look, he goes, I don't mind paying this because it actually wasn't that expensive. Is it all original? And I'm like, yep, sure is. And when he got it, he sends me a message, and he kind of used, I think he called me a double dumb, and he said, and he shows me a picture of the hat. It says right there, DM. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, I saw that. Made in Denmark, right?
Yeah.
I did the Green Arrow Quiver in 2004.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was almost 20 years ago.
Wow.
I actually gave them out to everybody who attended Mego Con in 2000.
I didn't get one.
It's in the mail. It's the Canadian thing.
When
Oh,
when was the Migo meet in New York City? That was
Mego Con
that was the Hotel
2004.
Pennsylvania.
2004.
Yeah.
I remember going there and
2004.
seeing your stack of the Migo of the Green Arrow backpacks, and you had, I was just blown away. I've never seen.
Were you there, Frank?
Like that. What's that?
Were you there?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You were there?
Yeah, crazy. Yep.
What were you, 15?
About that. Yeah. We drove up for the day. My brother and I drove up for the day, and I remember buying some stuff off of Paul and not really having a lot of money to buy too much of anything that I really, as far as vintage stuff. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Yep.
I remember being put on a panel with like two people that started like Migo with Neil Coughlin and Marty Abrams. And I was like, why am I here? And that's
and I was next to you going, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I am so ready to hit the ground.
Yeah. And I don't think anyone asked me a question because I was the one guy, if you emailed him on Monday, he'd answer your question. So I was like, okay, I'll just sit here and listen. It was I had a good seat.
Did you guys hit Neil up for facts and I mean, wasn't he like the designer? What was his actual title?
He was
vice president of research and development.
Yeah.
He was there on the ground floor. He actually worked for Migo pre-Marty.
Well, he worked for Marty's dad. Yeah.
Yeah, he was an art student.
As a salesman.
Yeah, and but he was an art student as well. Neil was actually a pretty decent artist. And what happened was, if I recall correctly, is the original vice president of research and development was another guy named Neil, and his name was Neil Saul. And just as Migo blew up, Neil Saul got an offer from AHI, which really made Marty happy, and he has never mentioned it again. And so the joke was, I guess, in the office, there was two Neils, so Neil Coughlin was called Cubby, just so everyone could figure out who they were talking about. And he became the big guy in the research and development department. And I think he was there for all the good years of Migo, really.
Very interesting.
I would have loved to have mugged Neil and asked him a million questions.
I have,
but I figured we'd be able to talk to him another day.
Yeah. I spent hours with the man and still feel like, damn, I forgot about this and I forgot about that. Two friends of mine, Will McFarland and Dan, I'm flaking on Dan's last name. They got a walking tour of New York with Neil. He took them to the old toy building. He told some off-color stories. It was really amazing. I envy those guys that they got to spend so much time with Neil. They also went to the old Mego factory and tried to go in to see the mural. Do you remember that? Like, there's a rumor that there was not Mego factory, Mego warehouse. Yeah, in Bohemia. There was a rumor there was a huge mural of Mego toys, and they wanted to go in, and they did actually, I think, go in, but there's no mural anymore. Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah. They humored those guys pretty good, though.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Kevin, did you go with your tops too?
Say that again?
Yeah.
So, Scott, you're up then, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you might as well count me out of this because there is no one particular favorite. The good thing, if Paul's not good for anything else, which he's good for a lot, but I can count on Star Trek with Paul. He will never let us down with Star Trek and Apes. If you wanted to have anybody in that corner, it's Paul Clark. He is not going to let you down. And he's going to go, I know eventually we're going to get, the women are going to come in, and then we'll be balanced out, hopefully, with women to men ratio as far as Next Generation and the original series and all that's concerned. But all the Star Trek and all the Apes, that's my favorite. So
I haven't gotten the Worf yet, but it looks.
Mego's three big lines were amazing: superheroes, Star Trek, and Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, and that you know what, and obviously that
horror back then was you wouldn't dare. Can you imagine in '75 if Mego had done The Exorcist?
Nah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, horror also had this stigma of it's an October thing,
right?
And then you get rid of it. Monsters weren't.
But then, even so, you could only do your Universal monsters,
right? Yeah.
Nobody would dare do anything that was,
right.
Not until the '80s when you had Freddy Krueger, as Max.
That went over great for Matchbox.
Yeah,
that was Matchbox. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Which they used Mego tooling.
They did. They did. That 10-inch body.
Because if anybody ever wants a really interesting thing, Mel Burnkrant, who created Max Effects, has a wonderful website, and he goes into every detail. He's a collector himself, so he knows people adore this kind of information, and he goes over every misstep that Matchbox did.
I think I saw some of that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
It's really cool.
That should have been a really popular toy line in the '80s.
Yeah, I think I got caught up. Didn't he get caught up with like the whole Freddy Krueger thing at the time, where people were trying to,
Yeah. Well, what happened was it wasn't the action figure, it wasn't the Max Effects, it was the stuffed talking Freddy.
You're right.
Got the ire of parents, and
yeah. Even when they did that in the '80s, so
it was a bad idea.
Yeah, family company Mego come out with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Hey, right.
There would have been picketing.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, but also like Texas Chainsaw Massacre was playing in dirty movie theaters at midnight.
Right.
Like it was, like 40 years of normalizing these licenses, these brands. If Mego had done some Hammer, like Hammer Dracula, and I don't think they would have sold super great, but there wouldn't be picketing because Dracula and Frankenstein.
Yes, right.
It's your comfortable monsters.
Yeah. And I would have been in heaven, but it's not like the '70s weren't like there's lots of monster lines in the '70s. It's one of the most, I guess, most capitalized on because of the idea that they're all public domain.
Yeah.
It's a different demographic now, but I mean the monsters are huge. they're huge for the Mego collectors.
Horror collecting is massive in general.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's actually the thinnest membrane.
Yes.
If you want to make a movie,
Yep.
Yeah.
horror is very indulgent of new people coming in. It doesn't have to be a big brand.
Yeah.
Anybody can come in with their own thing. And in terms of merchandising also, you can always, there's a very receptive market to zombies, werewolves.
Yep.
You don't have to be on brand.
Right.
That's why I try to sneak in public domain whenever possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it
Save
works.
the royalty.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways you can go with that too, Paul, with the public domain. We all talked about that. Just so many different things out there you can do.
Right.
And it kind of harkens back to the heyday of Migo too, with the monsters and stuff, with that kind of stuff.
Right.
Really cool.
But will they sell? Like Medusa is going to be on wave 15.
Yeah.
And everybody, I have to admit it, Medusa was on the planning boards for a long time. And I thought, is she popular enough to really sell? And then when Gorgon got canceled, I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
Now when we put out Medusa, everybody's going to love it.
Yep.
Hey, Paul, Lonnie's asking, with the Monsters movie coming out, any chance on seeing going towards that direction?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, I'm looking at the Rob Zombie stuff, and it doesn't sound like it's being well received.
I'm seeing a mixed, from what I've seen, it's actually being well received, but there's still this stigma that Rob Zombie, it's almost like his reputation precedes him.
Yeah.
I'm actually friends with Dan Roebuck, the guy's playing Grandpa Munster. And if anything gives me hope, it's the fact that Dan's involved, because there's no bigger monster kid than Dan Roebuck.
Okay. But, so quite frankly, that's Universal. I don't know whether we're going to get a shot at it, or whether they've already got it tied up, or whether they're going to let us do classic but while other people are grabbing for Rob Zombie, we might be able to get classic. I don't know.
Yeah, classic would still be great.
Classic would be the better choice.
Classic
I think
is what we want.
Yeah.
What I want to see is Amigo Uncle Gil.
I want to 14 in.
I mean, it's already done.
Yeah, you just put a suit on your creature.
Put a suit on the creature.
Okay, so in the Rob Zombie movie, we know Uncle Gil shows up.
Yeah.
As well as Zumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a guy who really knows his stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's just a matter of will he be able to translate original into something that we can,
Well, that's something we're all going to have to wait and find out. And I'm not a huge fan of his work as a filmmaker. I love his music. But I look at some of the casting he's done, where he's got Sylvester McCoy and Catherine Schell and Cassandra Peterson, and you're like, this guy's a fan. This guy's a huge fan.
Yep.
Yes.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah, right.
Like I hate to ever, cast dispersions on somebody doing something new, because it's really hard to do. It's much harder to go back and reinterpret an old classic like that is so well loved.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Star Trek.
Everybody knows it. Everybody, exactly. It's tough. It's really tough.
And the other thing is too, and this is something that is rough when you're doing remakes. That show is Fred Gwynn and Al Lewis's personas that sold it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep.
And when you do these remakes, either the person takes it their own direction, or they just completely go and do an imitation, and it's weird.
Which is what the trailer, the trailer, which was a mock intro of the original series.
That was kind of fun,
Yeah.
I thought the guy doing Herman though was,
not quite there.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Did you guys ever see the? I think it was like a made-for-TV movie. I think it might have come out in the '90s or something. The Monsters.
There's been like 7 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Jerry O'Connell as as Herman.
No, that was 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
Had Eddie Izzard as Grandpa.
Yeah, I think what Frank was talking about is the Fox TV movies where they had
Edward E. Herman was actually playing.
Edward E. Herman, played him.
It was pretty good. I thought he kind of pulled it off.
Wait,
who was?
There was an '80s reboot that starred John Schuck.
Oh, yeah.
And that lasted longer than the actual Monsters series.
Right.
I think it was called The Monsters Today. I've only ever seen like one episode of it, and it was that typical syndicated. Has anyone ever seen the movie Assignment Terror? Yes, I have every iteration of it behind me. I stayed up till 2:00 in the morning to watch it. Sorry, somebody just asked about. I think what they're trying to get us is, do you guys want to do a Paul Naschy Mego? And of course you do.
Right.
I'll explain who he is later, Paul.
Well, I think what was interesting about was that they kind of gave it a father's knows best, leave it to Beaver sort of sense of it, and none of the characters knew that they were monsters. They just thought,
it's fish out of water comedy.
Yes,
and it was really well done.
And anybody who tried to redo that seems to miss that point.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Tom. My favorite scene in The Munsters is there's a guy picking on Herman at work, and he's taking it, and somebody at his job goes, Herman's going to go stand up to him, and someone at his job goes, "Why are you picking on Herman Munster?" And the guy goes, "Because he's an idiot." And he goes, "Have you looked at Herman Munster?" And just as they do, they open the window, and Herman's trying to walk across the street, and there's two cars parked too close, and Herman just moves one of the cars. And the guy goes, "Oh." And that's my favorite scene for The Munsters, because it's just so. Even this guy didn't realize, that guy's a monster.
Yep.
Oh, goody.
But hey.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So one of the things that we've noticed, we talked about this, is when this is everybody's, unless you got the G.I. Joes, the 2-pack, this is everybody's first handling of these new bodies. And a lot of the times, it happened to me today because I opened up Mutant Leader right before we went on. A lot of times,
G.I. Joe?
well, I'm just saying the same body.
Joe.
Whoever didn't get it, but the point is, with these bodies, people there have been reports about limbs snapping and stuff like that. But why is this? Because there's so much articulation. Be careful to find before you start going to bend something that's in outfit. Just make sure the elbow is facing the way the elbow can face, because otherwise, you're going to snap it for sure. And once it's in play, once everything's where it's supposed to be, these are not brittle. These are not going to break on you. These are
these are made. It's great.
I think we were talking before. I think one of the things with these bodies, there's so much articulation with these bodies, but it doesn't move the same way as a classic Mego body. And we're so
exactly.
Yep.
But anything that you can do here. Oh, I lost Tom, but he's back on there. I wonder how that happened. Hold on one second. Tom, there you go, buddy. So just to show you, you're not going to snap it, man. And their pose. You can do just about anything you need to do with it, and it's going to hold the pose. And people talk about, well, it wiggles. Well, wiggle isn't a bad thing with these bodies, because it's not like wiggle and it's not going to hold a pose. There's just a different type of play. It's a different type of mechanics, but
exactly.
It's for the better.
Yep.
I did not see that angle.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, good. Okay, so anyway.
There you go. Hey, well, Tom, while we have you on here, man, I always ask everybody the first time on. I want to know your favorite Mego of all time, and I want to know your first Mego memory. Tom not on? He's frozen.
Oh yeah, he seems to be stuck in time.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
What's
Either that, or he's amazing at holding a pose.
Yeah.
Well, Jason Seville can do that. Jason Seville can do that. You're like, yeah, you there?
Or he's just mad at you.
Well, yeah.
No, he's shoot. I don't.
We'll have to wait till he's back on. Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah, I don't think he knows he's frozen because I haven't gotten a message from him. So.
Oh, whoopsie doodle. Let me see if I can message him.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
So Tom said to me, he goes, oh, "Could I get a credit on the back of the package?" I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll take mine off." I think we all know I'm doing these. So now going forward, you'll see sculptor, seamstress, and paint master.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Very nice of you.
So,
That is very nice of you.
of course, it may not always be Tom King, but
Right.
I've seen lately on a lot of the ones I've been getting. Brian Leitner is the seamstress.
yes,
Yeah.
he is. Listen, Kevin, I'm not gonna drive us crazy. Okay, if you sew dolls' clothes, you have to be comfortable in your masculinity. Okay, you gotta be able to be called a seamstress.
Hey.
No, that's good. I
Did
love
I change it to
Brian. I love
Micro
his
Taylor
work.
Yeah.
when I did the Grim Reaper? And I did the outfit for the Grim Reaper.
Nice.
If I ever get credit on the back, I want to be called a beautiful lady.
Would you like?
Hey.
Beautiful lady. Yeah.
Oh, good.
I mean,
No, but
Sculptor
it's good. It's good to
is
see Brian
generic.
back in the mix. On
Yeah,
this
it's
stuff.
really nice. Brian's been around so long, and it's
He actually
great.
did the outfits for the Joes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The trick
Oh,
with
nice.
Brian is he has health issues, so I
Yes,
have
he
to
does. He
kind
does.
of
Yeah.
there's things I'd like him to do, but I have to worry about what he can handle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
He's kind of like one of the few people that he's not local to me, but he's from Michigan. So I do actually run into Brian when I used to be able to cross the border at shows and stuff. And it was always nice to see Brian. He's a good guy.
mhm.
Very cool.
Tom said his signal dropped, and he should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully he doesn't live in Jason's town.
I was going to say they put
Right.
up new. They just started putting up new transmitters.
Tom is in Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville, yeah, Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Why don't you give his address?
I don't think I threw too many puzzle pieces out there.
Put on the back of the box.
There could be many Louisvilles in the country.
He lives in Louisville Slugger.
But
So
Tracy telling us Brian's in Michigan. How many Lightners are there in
Oh
Michigan?
yeah. Well, actually, I get confused for Brian Leitner at shows and stuff because I'm Brian Heiler, and it's phonetically close enough. And I remember some person coming up to me at Mego Meet and going, "I love your work. You're awesome." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." He's like, "I love your sewing." And it's like, no. Not me.
Just go with it. Yeah.
No, because then they go, "This is what I want you to make for me."
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look, if you want to watch me cry and stab myself in the finger and then throw everything, there you go. But that is a special kind of patience, and I do not have it. I was kind of hoping my daughter would be a Migo suit sewer, her sewing machine and stuff. But
hey, that's how I learned how to sew. So on Captain Kirk's shirt back when I was 9 and 10, 11 years old.
The funny thing is, Brian mostly does hand sewing.
Yeah, that's
Dave
crazy.
McCormick does only hand sewing.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And after 20 years of using a sewing machine and hand sewing, I kind of understand.
Yeah.
It's kind of easier once you get going with a needle and thread.
Right.
But, man, that machine is so much faster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing a bodysuit or something.
But it's a lot less forgiving though if you mess up, man.
You got it. It's like any tool. It's like a chainsaw. You have to learn it. You can't just sit down at the thing and expect it to just work.
Exactly.
You're going to have to go through a lot.
When I was getting into customization in the 90s, I would leave little index cards in the grocery stores. You remember that, like bulletin boards?
Yes.
And I used to get tons of responses, and I would bring them the Mego dolls and explain what I wanted and show them and draw them.
Yeah.
And what would happen was either I would get delivered some suits, like, and I'd pay them $20, $30. And then they would go, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
That sounds familiar.
I had one person I worked with for a couple of years, and she was fantastic. But even she was like, yeah, no, I can't. I don't want to do this anymore. But there was at least 2 of those women where I gave them a Mego doll, and I gave them the material, and I gave them a drawing. Never heard from them again.
Right.
Like they tried it and went, no.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find somebody who wants, I think, who can do this and who wants to do this. Lots of people can sew.
Right.
But it is a really tough thing.
What
was that?
I went to FIT.
Okay.
To girls that are in the sewing, that are doing clothing.
Yeah.
And showed it to them, and they came back a week later crying. They're like, I can't work this tiny size. They're used to human scale.
Yeah.
1/6 is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for Mego, it is so tiny, and I have had to sit and sew. For those Marvel sets we did, I had to do the Spider-Man costume and the Captain America costume prototypes by hand sewing, myself, and inside out, and you just, it has to be all lined up because it was the prototype, and it was going to be shown. It's very tough.
The best work I ever got was from my friend's grandma. She's from Holland. She's still alive. I think she's like 105 now.
She's doing well. She
sewed a Clark Kent suit for me, and it was beautiful. But she goes, I never want to see you again. like she delivered one suit and was like, bye, Brian.
Marlene has an aunt. Marlene has an aunt who's a fantastic seamstress. Like this big industrial. She used to work for designers and everything. This huge machine she's got in a house. She made Marlene's wedding dress. She made all the bridesmaid dresses. I brought her one of Austin's suits, a Spider-Man suit.
Yes.
So she had to redo all her settings. She did one, and she says, "Oh my God, what are you, crazy?"
Yeah.
So that was the last time I ever brought a suit to her. I just went with the old finger stitch, and that was it.
Has to be somebody who can live in this scale.
Yeah.
And that's why whenever we get someone who wants to sew, I am happy to give them bodies, to give them patterns, to give them whatever. I will find fabric for them. I will try to do anything we can to make it easier. But
it's magic.
Yeah,
it really is.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
That's why I do it also.
There was a guy who would actually glue the fabric to the figure.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was a common practice with a lot of these guys, because these guys could sculpt like the day was long, but when it came to making the suit, I remember there was a couple of custom guys who.
Vincenzo does that. Vincenzo Reyes.
Oh, okay.
He makes some fantastic outfits, because I had him do 3 of my Assassin's Creed figures.
Yeah.
But he glues the material. It's like you can't take this outfit off.
Yeah.
It's incredibly detailed. Fantastic looking outfits, but it's all glued to the figure. You'll never get this stuff off unless you chisel it off.
Charlie Flatt was such a unicorn that way, because he was really quite talented with sewing, and he could actually sculpt and paint as well. Like he was a one-stop shop.
Yep.
And I think I don't even know if he knows the impact he had.
Yes, he does.
He does, yeah.
He was at the last Mego meet.
Oh yeah, I've hung out with Charlie. I really like him, but he's very
Charlie's a really nice guy.
He's a very modest guy, and he's very unassuming.
You're muted.
Rachel Rachel started like that.
Yeah.
First figures that you would get from Rachel, they were glued on, and I remember because I used to get the Klingons from her, and I remember one of them actually broke, and God bless her, she said, well, I'll mail you another one. I was like, no, just I wanted to know how it came apart so I could I fixed it myself, but so that's how I found out her. That's how I started communicating with her.
I have one of Rachel's customs. It's a Migo that I hope Migo sometimes gets to, but it's a Star Trek character I doubt is high on the list, and that is Dr. Severin from The Way to Eden.
So you're the one that got that?
Oh yeah, I had to have that.
Great.
Because I reach.
Yeah.
Wow. And yeah, that's one of my favorite customs I own. I'd put it up there with some of the McDunsels because he's such a ridiculous character, and she knocked it out of the park. She did a really good job with it.
She knocked out Flo too. Remember Flo, the progressive.
Oh yeah. I don't think we got those commercials in the same amount you guys did, but I'm aware of
we're still getting them.
Yeah.
Now she got a sidekick.
All right. So before Tom gets blanked out again.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Asking me a question.
Tom, good to have you back, brother. Question for you. We always ask people on the panel for the first time. What's your first Mego memory? And then secondly, what's your favorite Mego of all time?
My first real Mego memory was seeing the world's greatest superheroes. Now, I had Action Jackson before that in Christmas 72. I have a photograph to prove it, because I'm standing there holding him with all the world on my face. But one day we were in a department store, and we were in the checkout lane, and there was a spin rack right by the checkout lane, and there was these solid boxes just inserted all the way down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's Batman. And then as I looked down and followed, there were figures hanging out. They're hooked with their armpit on the top of the boxes. I know why they switched the window boxes. But I was like, is that Batman? Because I saw his cowl on every way but the right way. But I started freaking out because I was like, that's not just Batman. Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And his mask comes off, and Superman, and Aquaman, and it was like literally one of those moments. Like, where were you at? And I, fortunately for that day, I had given my mom a hard time, like he wanted her, and I let her know about it. That I didn't really want, and so anyway, I had to wait a little bit. So I had that memory that just burned into my brain for, I guess, probably about a week before I finally. And
that's great. That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember it like it was yesterday.
I think we all have those moments. We can all speak to a moment like that. But that's great, man.
Yeah, that's why I say when this next one comes out, all of them in love. Forget it. Nobody mind.
Oh yeah, right. That's awesome. So all right, that's a great memory. How about your favorite Mego of all time?
Boy, it's a tie between that Batman and Spider-Man, because Spider-Man just has a special place in my heart, because you have to remember. I mean, I'm 58, so I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and we had all this programming, all these great shows on, and there were no figures of any. I mean, we had all the toy companies that made action licensed their own stuff. So you had G.I. Joe, Big Jim.
Sure, yeah.
And I was like, where's Ultraman? Where's Batman? And but Spider-Man was really special because the 67 Spider-Man cartoon is the whole reason why I became an artist.
Oh, nice.
What happened, I would watch that and I wanted to play Spider-Man, but I had no vehicle to do that.
Yeah.
So, do, I sit down in my mom's lap, and she would illustrate Spider-Man on a piece of paper, and she would cut it out, and I'd flip it over, and we'd put the design of his costume on the back, and that's what.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Pretty cool.
Spider-Man, which if you think about it, I reflect back on it now. If you look at the dimensions of that on a piece of paper where you're drawing the full body, you're basically getting close to an 8-inch figure.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was already looking in that direction in the 60s.
Nice.
So when Spider-Man finally showed up, that just about brought tears to my eyes. And the reason why I became an artist over that is because my mother got tired of having to draw it all the time. I had to sit there and he did it. Yeah. I started figuring out how to do it myself so I wouldn't have to ask him. So there's a lineage that goes through all this.
Yeah.
And it's just, here we are, all this time later, and I'm painting for Migo.
Yeah.
Priceless.
Hey, Tom, we got a question
awesome,
specifically for
Thank
you.
you for sharing that, Tom.
It's a good question too.
This question specifically for you. It is a good question. It's Facebook user. I don't have a name on it. Brian, can you see a name, or you just see the same thing I do?
Facebook user.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he says he's hoping to hear how your paints are communicated to the factory and how the process of how the paints look is done for the mass production.
Okay.
So when you
the paint master goes physically to the factory.
He's asking Tom, but
but Tom sends it to me.
Oh, sorry.
That's why he doesn't know what happens. Yeah, but no.
Michael Gilbert who asked the question, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
The physical. That's why we have to physically have one. I can't just send him a picture. Yeah. I tried. I tried to get away with just doing a picture, but they were like, "No, we need a physical sample to do the paint master. A paint master to make the mask that gets painted in the factory." And then they send a paint, a paint sample, which they always try to do on email. I go, "How's this?"
Yeah.
I go, well, I need to see it. I can't, you can't approve costumes and paint masters on a picture because lighting is off, it looks odd in perspective, you can't tell what the material's like.
Right.
That's how we got the first Picard costume.
Gotcha.
It looked fine in a picture. And then when you got the material, it looked like his jammies.
Wow. Okay.
I said, no, you have to send a sample.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to take time. Too bad. You FedEx. I FedEx things to you. You can FedEx this to me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So
there's no getting around that, is there?
No.
Yeah.
And on a lot of them, you would do like a master. In some instances, I might do a promotional head as well. So I'd be doing the same head twice.
Oh yeah. Not even at the same time.
Yeah.
I need another one of these. And then another.
Yeah, I hear that.
How do you, Tom? How do you? So how do you keep your skin tones and stuff like that together for the particular head? Like, especially what Paul just said, like here's the one, and then a couple of weeks later, whatever it is, hey, I need another one of those. How do you remember where you're at with the? Do you have a system?
I definitely have a system. After you've done enough of these heads, you know where you're going on a lot of them. It's always a little bit more interesting with the monsters because that's a little bit more of that's kind of a different journey there. But with all that, I know exactly where I'm going and what I'm creating. And
what's the easiest for you
in terms of what?
In terms of particular like genre of character or superhero.
If it's something like a monster, that when I paint that's kind of its own discovery, because at first I'm looking at the sculpt and I'm wanting to pull out all the detail in that sculpt. That's my number one goal. And then of course I'm collaborating with Paul because he's the art director to all this, and making sure that the whatever the intent is also captured with those heads. So it's a little bit of a discovery with every head. There's a little bit of a journey that takes place when you're painting, and it's much more so that way with the monsters than with someone that's got more human. You pretty much know what you're going to do.
Paul, once it leaves him and goes to the factory, is this they want to know, are they still hand painted at this point, or is this all machine after it leaves? As soon as you send it to the factory, how do they do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Depending on the case, depending on what you got, depending on how much is there.
So they could still hand paint at the factory too.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that.
You always have. The point is, it's more. It's more effort to get them to do. To do something. If it has to be hand painted, then there's more work involved. But some things that they show us a sample and go, no, this looks terrible. No, this is not. No, you can't just shove this out.
Yeah.
What? It looks good. Yeah, what? And even then, sometimes we look at the stuff and go, no, this is not right. It goes out anyway.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, why? We said no. Does you understand what no means? Remember, this is product. This is not art. Deadlines have to be met. If the product doesn't ship, then we don't get paid. And then game over. Okay.
But see, and it isn't that the real trick though. How do you take something that you want to ultimately look like a piece of art and take that prototype, that original conception that looks good, send it over there and get everything converted to what the hell is the word, to get to factory, to mass production, and still be able to come out with something that looks as good as Worf. See that to me, that's what makes mass production art. That's what makes this art, because the formula was right here. Everything's right about this. Everything worked.
You spend time. I'm up till 1 a.m. talking to the factory through email. And then first thing I get up in the morning, I'm sending them emails to try to keep things moving. And I get, well, how's this look? Well, it doesn't. And this, what the toughest part is? Digital photography will show every tiny little imperfection that if you look at it in hand, you'd say this looks fine. You take a you take a picture of it with your camera, you will suddenly see big gaping holes in a sculpt that you could not see with the naked eye.
Yeah.
And Andy Cavolta has actually said to me, sculpt looks great. And then he does pictures to send to me as turnarounds. And he goes, oh my God, where'd that giant hole come from? And he's like, and he looks at and he's like, it's a tiny speck, but once you see it, so it has to be fixed. It's, the sculptor has to do their part, the painter has to do his part, and the factory has to care. Our partners in China have to care. And we have to look and we have to go over with them and say, because they don't know these characters.
Right.
They don't understand. They don't watch Star Trek. They don't know Planet of the Apes. Right. I think they know some things, but they still act like they don't. But they don't know all this horror stuff. So I'm constantly saying, it looks like this. It has to, here's a picture. Here's reference. This is what you have to go with. And we have to go back and go, no, it's not like that. It's like this. It's time and effort. And when you're on a deadline, it's harder. That Tops thing was a real grinder.
Yeah.
Where we had to turn out 2 figures a week.
Yeah. Yep.
And you could only do so much ahead of time. And then it was, well, let's change this. Let's move. Because Tops was coming back saying, no. We want to change around your list. And I'm like, but I'm already in production. Like, I'm already working. Get this.
Yeah.
You can't wait till the week to get it to start working on it. But
well,
I've been doing this since 2004. I think. Yeah. Sorry, I've been working with the factory since '99. We did Star Trek in 2006. So since 2006, I've been dealing, well, I could send stuff before that. I could send things to my factory and go, here's a head. This is what I want to look like. And they'd send back something and I'd be like, yeah, that looks pretty good, but I was selling it as a, replacement part.
Yeah.
Now, it has to get submitted to the licensor. So the paint master gets submitted to the licensor and then they have comments.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not all on you. You don't even get, the licensor can say, no, we don't want that. We don't want that look. Change this, match this, use this model. Jon Stewart. First I had Jon Stewart with no hair, with the goatee from Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
And DC came back and said, no, you got to do him with hair. We got to look like the new 52. I go, but I don't want to do that version. I want to do Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
It's in our license. And they said, nope, we don't want that.
They're really dedicated to that
Factory
52 line.
the head.
Yeah.
It's just,
Licensor has the last say.
well,
Yeah, the
gentlemen,
word
we've
is
done
law.
yep. we've done it.
It's
We've
the
done an
law.
hour. We've done an hour 20, and this was the hey, tops are here. They're in hands. What do we think of it? And I think it was a success. There's nothing here that I wouldn't do again. The weight, the money. As a matter of fact, the only thing I would do differently is I would have ordered more.
Yeah.
That's about it. I would have ordered more. And
Wave 15.
that's
I ordered
great.
lots of Wave 15 because I want to do lots of fun stuff like
There you go.
get
I saw a
loose.
post from somebody like, oh, I can't believe you're putting out variants, right after we put out all this money. And it's like, how about all the people who didn't get them?
Yeah.
Through
Well,
no fault of their own, just couldn't get them.
Well,
Right.
for me, I passed on a couple of characters and was kind of like, I'm going to regret that. And I like the ones I passed on. I like the Wave 15 versions better.
There you go.
Which
There you
is
go.
really
Okay.
like for me, it worked out. I mean, mileage varies for every person, of course.
Yeah. Yep.
Sure.
Sure.
I was like kind of like, hey, that's I like my Captain Marvel to be wearing like yellow, not gold. So
Yeah.
that was like, oh, that's perfect.
But Brian, you're going to have to own them all.
You'd think so.
You're going to have to. That's why we don't have
Just don't get them
Silkscreen,
off.
Supergirl. That's why we have both versions of Mixaplex. We didn't want them, but we
Yeah.
have to have them.
Yeah. Okay. There might be something to that.
You guys love variants.
Yeah. You think?
Collect them all. Collect
Just don't
them
buy
all.
them off of eBay.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not touching that.
Yeah,
I do have both hair colors of Captain Xantor, so you might be right.
There you go.
There you go.
That's good.
Oh, wait. That Verdant has a slightly different hair color than the other one. I must
Yep.
have them both.
Yeah. The blonde.
Let's go around the room.
I know
Frank.
you guys.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and go around the room and you guys do your peace outs. And Paul, you can go see what your dog's been barking at. Might have a squirrel. Might have a squirrel in the basement. But,
Whatever.
It's the FedEx
Good job,
guy with
guys.
the delivery.
Yeah.
He's been waiting out there for an hour and 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Right.
I think the dog doesn't get enough exercise. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Gotta stimulate them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll go first. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Tom King for joining the panel today. Tom, you do fantastic work. Keep it up, brother. Appreciate the effort. Just for me, well, first off, Migo, follow us Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. If you haven't, there's original content being shared on all those platforms pretty much daily. So check those out. Looking forward to the world's greatest superheroes. Yes. Also, Wave 15 coming out. If you guys need any Wave 15 figures or looking to place an order, please hit me up. I personally will be in Mulca Hill, New Jersey this Sunday at the Gloucester County Fairgrounds. It's going to be a huge toy show. So if you guys are around, come out and say hi. And let's talk Mego.
Nice.
Frank will be at the Dexter Lake Club.
Yep.
All right, guys. Brian, what you got, buddy?
I hadn't prepared, but
Oh,
got
sorry.
a new
Prepare stuff.
magazine coming out,
That's
and
right.
we have a subscription service now, and
Woohoo!
we're doing all
Yep.
kinds of fun stuff, and it's Toy Ventures magazine.
Very cool.
And
Wonderful.
check out our YouTube channel.
Brian,
I think everyone knows me here.
Brian, I got a question.
Yeah.
Are you going to the Paracon in where is it, Frank?
It's
In Columbus,
Columbus,
Ohio.
Ohio.
August
Yeah.
5th, 7th.
August 5th to 7th. I know Nacelle is going to be there.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they were going to bring you in as a trained monkey.
They haven't told me, but here's the thing with that. That's my dad's birthday, and I'd like to spend that day with him, but I've been talking to a good friend of mine who's local, and he's like, I really want to do a table there. And I said, I'll split it with you, and so I can have a presence there. And I was talking to my wife, and she goes, why don't you go down for 2 days and
Nice.
work the booth? And it's like, yeah, I would actually really enjoy that. So maybe,
Schedule it.
yeah, I would do it.
He's old and in the way.
What's that? It's not that
He's
far
old and
from
in the
my
way.
house. What's that? Yeah.
He's old and in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm gonna probably try and make that. I'll be at Monster Bash in October, and then I just signed up for ZoloCon in February. So, but I'd like to do PowerCon just to promote the magazine.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Is Migo doing PowerCon? Are you going to do it, Frank?
Yes.
Yes, we're doing. I was
Migo's
letting Paul.
gonna be
I was going to let Paul make that announcement, but go ahead.
It's not really. It's hey, August 5th is August 5th is my daughter's birthday, but
Yep.
I'm willing to blow her off. Hey, come on, how often? She's gonna turn 20. What the hell? Get over
It's,
it.
it's Leo's.
She's had 19 others. We've been there for
That's
19
right.
others.
Yep.
But no, Migo's gonna have a booth there and a panel.
Yes.
And it sounds like a lot of toy companies are going, like Mezco and NECA.
Right now, it's Mezco, NECA. I think
Not an
Funko.
autograph show. It's not a celebrity show.
It's
No,
gonna be like
it's the old He-Man show.
Yeah, that was in California. It was
Yeah.
there was like a dedicated Masters of the Universe thing that they've expanded now.
they've expanded, and they're going to have a bunch of toy companies there this year. They're going to have a lot of the toy companies going to be showing new products. So it's kind of be like a little mini toy fair, but also they're going to have tons and tons of vendors with vintage, current, collectible toys. It's supposed to be a really, really big event this year.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to make it for 2 days. I still haven't worked it out with my friend. But if not, you'll be able to pick up some promotional items from the Mego table.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Very cool.
As long as Marty's
All
on
right.
the cover.
Yeah.
Tom.
I'm working on something.
There you go.
I said to Marty, we got to get a professional picture.
Yeah.
You can't keep using the 98 one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He still looks like the same.
Beard.
He still looks the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
All right, Tom, go ahead, man.
Goodbye, Tom.
Close it out, bud.
I just want to thank you. Come on here and talk with. I want to thank Paul for bringing me onto the team. It's been a great ride. I've been doing this for a little over a year now, and everyone on the team is so supportive and so very professional and very hardworking. It's I never realized how important the work ethic is in something like this, and everyone is very dedicated and focused on the task and love what they do. So thank you, Paul, for being a part of this. It's been a great experience.
Glad to have you.
It's great having you here, Tom.
Yeah, great meeting you.
Yeah.
All right. Without, I got to make this happen. So this is one for the road. Come on, Taylor and Horace, do it.
Can we play that 2001 music? But
I wish I had.
Yeah.
Out of the warble.
There you go. Better this
You
time.
gotta have the film strips.
There you go.
Yeah.
Film strip warble.
Kevin, did you get to go? Go ahead,
Make
man.
mine, Migo.
No,
All right,
listen,
guys.
it's great. It's great as always. You know, this is a lot of fun. These figures, they keep on surpassing expectations. and I can't wait to see what's coming out next.
Yeah, it's a nice fun ending, the Topps figures. Because I really actually like them. And yeah.
Who would have thought?
Who knew?
No, I was hoping I'd like them, but I do sincerely think they're great.
By the way,
keep looking at them.
Somebody asked me this, and it's like something like, "Oh, it's a shame we're never going to see the other stuff. Everything else was on the Topps list." Trust me, it's not like it went away.
Oh, good.
You know, whatever would have been on Topps going forward will show up on other waves.
There you go.
Good.
Awesome.
Good.
Not for nothing, but I did notice the improvement to Zero. There is that little thing that's happening right there. It just seems to be an improvement to me. Nice collar on her.
Sure, that's the only one I didn't buy.
If you had, you know what? I said I wouldn't, but I only bought 2. So
I passed on her, instantly regretted it, and on Friday my friend sent me a picture saying, "Look what I bought you."
Oh,
and
nice.
it was the nicest
Very neat
thing.
Right? How many Zeros do you own?
A lot.
Can you be my friend? I didn't get one.
Yeah.
And yet you still want collect them.
Well, no, that's exactly my justification. Was like, I'm not going to buy the Zero, and then I was like, no, I don't have a complete set.
Exactly.
And that haunted me, like, mildly, but you know, and it was just like
today.
And then my friend had bought it for me, and it was like, that was the nicest thing that's happened to me in weeks. And it was crazy.
Very cool.
Listen, as the Topps thing kept going on and on and on, and I'm going like, please be Monster, so I don't have to buy. Please be Monster, so I don't have to buy.
That was Star Trek Next Generation.
I said, all right, I bought some Monsters.
You collect them all.
Please, not Monsters, not Monsters.
Yep.
Oh yeah, every time that, like, you know, that Cisco and Quark looked really good, but I was like, phew.
Oh man, no, there were must-haves. Well, listen, everybody, please be sure to like and subscribe this channel for more and all of your Mego updates. And we also obviously cater to most anything Mego. Our good friends, whoever might be our good friends, we are out. Enjoy your Sunday night, and I'm gonna go get caught up on my Star Trek.